Hello, hello. We're back with Terra Nullius, going into part 2 of today's 52nd episode. Not that it's 50-second long, it's just the 52nd time we've played this game, besides the side stories. Okay, we're here, and we're gonna jump back into it. So, you guys go into the village, following the guards. And, you enter a sort of half-run-down yuan-ti village. You're familiar enough with the architectural style at this point, and it's pretty similar to other things you've seen. But there's definitely signs that something or someone has attacked the village before, and they've managed to fend it off, but there's, like, a couple of buildings that are, like, kind of half attacked. There is... you can tell right outside on one part of the village, there's some freshly dug graves, and it looks like they've been attacked by something recently. And you see various yuan-ti, none of them terribly snaky, right? Like it's all the lesser types. So you see some purebloods, you see some Malisons, but nothing too crazy. Mostly purebloods. And, it seems like the child in the yuan-ti woman's arm, who you've still never got the name of, because y'all didn't care. The child seems to relax and, like, notice that there's, like, a couple of other yuan-ti children, like, looking out from, windows or the door frames. And, you see a couple of other Malisons, with spears or curved swords. And they seem wary, but obviously, these guards are escorting you, so they're not going to, like, attack you or whatever. And you get led in a particular direction towards the kind of, like, right center of the village. And there is a particularly large... It's kind of like a square, right? So it's like 4 buildings that have like some sort of space in the middle between the 4 of them.
A little courtyard.
Yeah, a little courtyard, but like the courtyard is covered in like canvas and some sort of like tent thing. So it like kind of like covers the connecting from the roofs of these buildings, and you can see that like there's like an entrance, this little space between 2 of the buildings. Leads into this kind of like tent covered little courtyard. And inside, so first what I want everybody to do is make a perception check. I'm just curious there's a few things that you might notice in the village that are relevant.
Oh, this is great. Darius
I just keep rolling 21s.
So perceptive. Like,
Nope.
I'm about to, like, perceive this whole place to the ground.
I'm just still thinking about you have perceived the grounds.
It figures that the one who's noticing things is the one who's really on edge right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about, like, what did he say to get them to escort us?
No one's asked me.
Yeah, but we're being escorted and I'm just trying to be chill.
I got a natural 20 on that other one.
Yep. So you guys start towards that courtyard area, and then Tepin, you see off to the left. So you guys are going towards this little tent courtyard thing, and off to the left you see a selection, a collection of cages. And there are some
Empty cages?
Most of them are empty, but you notice, and it's almost like from your peripheral, and you look, and then you look away, and then you do a double take, because you're not sure if you saw it. At first, you're like, oh, it's some sort of, like, wild beast that they caught. And then you're like, oh, hey, yeah, that's a tabaxi.
Oh.
They got
There's
a
one tabaxi?
Yeah, there's, like, a tabaxi, and the reason you didn't see it first is because it's, like, the guy or gal, you can't really tell this from this distance, is just, like, curled up on the floor of this cage. And these are, like, bone cages. But yeah, to curl up on the floor of this cage, obviously, like, malnourished, Yeah, some sort of slave or prisoner of war or something. Yeah, you see that.
I hate you right now, Caleb.
Oh, I know, buddy. I know. So what do you do?
I don't do anything yet because doing anything now is just going to make things worse.
Very likely. Okay, so you guys enter this like tent courtyard thing. And inside you see what amounts to it's kind of like a palace ? There's a lot of cushions, right? It looks like it's like a place that's meant to be very comfortable. You see a lot of yuan-ti malisons. So these are the ones, though, the types that have like snake arms and not like several snakes on their arms. Yeah, and regular human bodies, and they are prostrating themselves before. So we, just describing it in order here, right? You see these snake things prostrating themselves before this like big dais with a bunch of cushions just laid out everywhere. And they're bowing, and then the snake heads that there are their arms, right? So normally it would be like, people going like this, but it's like, it almost looks like the snakes are also bowing because it's their arms, right? And then on the cushions is a huge snake. Huge. And it looks like, let me grab the picture of this for you. I don't know if I can find it. Looks like that.
That looks funny.
So literally, it's a giant snake, but it has like a human face.
Is his name Steve?
No, it's not.
I'm Steve.
I can't see anything. I literally don't.
Where
see
are you? You should be on the same. Ooh.
Maybe I need.
That
to
looks
refresh
like a
my
child
page.
drew a snake and then just drew a smiley face on it.
Exactly, right?
And then an artist took that and drew an actual thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Can you see it now, Alyssa?
No, hold on. Let me try refreshing my page.
Yeah, that might be it.
You might have to push whatever shifts you or to make it big for her.
He looks like he's really excited for bingo night.
That's very true, Darius or Jordan. So
My
yeah,
Wi-Fi connection is like really slow right now, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see it later.
I'll Snapchat you the picture of him.
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. So again, big old cobra-looking thing, but it has an elderly, wizened human face on the front of it instead of a snake face.
Rats are 2 for 1.
What the heck is that?
Yep. And so real quick, someone can make an Arcana check if they want to, because this is a particular type of thing that can be known.
Let's see.
Anyone can. You can all just make it and see.
Wait, all of us can?
No.
Or just one?
All of you can make it.
Okay.
This Darius is so archonic.
Wow, those are all really bad
Okay,
rolls. What
come
about you,
on.
Ari?
Whoa, 12.
Yeah, not much. No, none of you know what this is. I mean, yeah, you are probably reacting in your minds
Like-
exactly as you guys all reacted.
I mean, Taplin doesn't try to go into the base of his enemy often.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, this is very strange. And the again, all of these like guys with snake arms are like bowing down, and the Malisons, the snake-headed yuan-ti in front of you, kind of like stop at the front of the dais, and you notice also, right? There's like dozens of like tinier snakes, all kind of like just kind of like slithering around through all of the different cushions. Like this whole big tent, like bazaar thing, is just filled with cushions everywhere. And there's a bunch of like, little snakes kind of like going through it.
Just like normal snakes.
Yeah, just like normal snakes, yeah. And the Malisons kind of like
normal snakes, not snaky snakes.
yeah.
Okay.
The Malisons like stop in front of the dais, and then one of the snake-armed yuan-ti stands up and kind of looks and sees that, you know, there's actually one of them has probably been like standing off to the side, like waiting, like watching you all approach. And then in a kind of like sing-song voice, he says, this yuan-ti says, "Visitors approach." Like this like really high nasally voice. And then in unison, all of the other like prostrating ones, the ones that are like bowing up and down, as they bow up and down, they say, "Visitors," right? Like as they're
Is this
bowing up
in
and down.
yuan-ti or is
This
this
is-
in primordial?
It's in yuan-ti, so only Kevin is understanding what they're saying. But
So we're
you know,
just hearing do.
yeah, exactly.
Can
Yeah.
we please tell me the snake's name is Carl?
Gosh, I really wish Ari knew yuan-ti right now.
Wait,
Yeah.
how many people can I talk to with my Ring of
Yeah,
Mind
it's
shielding?
visitors.
No, that would be if his name was Sven.
I am God and I am Miss, and together we are going to pump you up.
I
But
think
yes, so that happens, right? And you know, visitors, and then the kind of like head of the worshippers, right? Says, the one that's facing you, says, like,
The worship leader.
basically, yeah. He's like, "Who is it that approaches the dais of the Great Coza?" And then like, you know,
wait, can you
all
write
of
down
the
what it's? Can you
Yeah,
write down
yeah.
what it was? Name is?
and then the worshippers all chant in unison, "Ah, Coza, great is he," as they're bowing.
Give me a second. Are they
And then-
saying this in yuan-ti?
Yes. But then the Malisons kind of like turn to you, Tepin, and then are like, "Well, you know, yeah." And so this whole time, this big snake dude is just like staring at you beatifically, like with like a smile on his face, just like and swaying back and forth.
The giant snake's name is the Great Coza.
The Great Coza, yeah.
I wonder if he happens to know the Great Owl. I feel like they would be like chess buddies or something.
Owls eat snakes.
Yeah, and that's why they're chess buddies.
They're old enough where they've gotten past the differences and they just want to play chess.
Yeah.
I probably just say the same sort of thing that I said to the guards because it worked the first time. I mean, I can't think of what I would say differently.
Yeah.
No, I mean it worked. It's like it worked the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, is there just protocol where you just introduce yourselves and then the Great Coza addresses us to see what he wants to know?
Honestly, okay, I will say one thing differently. I will introduce myself as like, "Hello, whatever." It's like, "I am Tepin," and I'll turn as much as it like pains Tepin to say this. He will say like, "And this is my master," and I'll say Raya's name or however it
This
translates.
is my
as
master, Ryle Femi. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I'll explain the situation, and I'm like, and these are her compatriots, and without necessarily giving names, because like that's like I'm just announcing my master. These are her friends.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'll like tell like same essentially the same thing I said to the guards using like the higher like more fancier language, since apparently this person's important, even though I really wish I could just
Yeah, so this is gonna be important. Are you in the language,
Mhm.
are you implying that these people, you know, Raya and her compatriots, are you equals with the Great Coza? Are you better than the Great Coza? Are you inferiors of the Great Coza? How do you say that?
given. That's a tricky question.
You can make a history check to know what is the right answer.
Okay, I will. I'm trying to think. Okay, I have an idea for getting some advantage on this. How much have I said about Tepin's background?
Not a whole lot, just that like he was in a tribe that was killed by the yuan-ti. That's about it.
I think I want to tell a story. Like he probably had siblings.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he probably had like an older brother who like, and this is how he knows how to get through him. So what he would do is him and his older brother would sneak in, talk to the guards, say like, oh, we're here on behalf of so-and-so, we're here to do this thing. And like, he would talk them up, they'd sneak in, and then they'd steal things. And that's how he got that's how he kind of has gone this way, is like he learned from his older brother how to sneak past them, get through, and all this kind of stuff, and to rip them off, because these were literally like people that they would enslave his people. So he did the best as he could to blend in enough to screw with them.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of like the Road to El Dorado and the two brothers like being chased by the guards and all that stuff. That's definitely a vibe I'm getting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and
check with advantage?
take advantage. Yeah. That's cool.
Didn't
Okay,
need
19. So based on what you know about etiquette, it would be pretty presumptuous to claim that they were superiors, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure about equals. Obviously, inferiors would be the safe bet. You're not sure whether or not equals would go over well or not. You've never seen a snake thing like this before. Like, this is very new to you. So you're not sure, and you've never seen a snake like smile like this, right? It literally looks like he's just like a kind old man, like, oh, this is great. Like, it's so strange to you. You're that's your expectation with yuan-ti, but you're not sure if that translates over as well as you think. But yeah.
So I know enough to know not to go too far.
Yeah, it's probably a safe bet to not try to play up you guys as superior. Even if you're trying to be like, hey, they'll eventually be masters of the whole region, like, and they'll be better masters. Even though that's kind of what you implied to the guards, right?
And in that...
Again, you could try it. That's just from your knowledge of etiquette, it would be presumptuous.
I don't want to say that they're greater, because I don't want to give that off that this would be like... I don't want to give it off like, oh, we're so much better than you sort of thing. But at the same point, I don't think he wants to downplay them, because it was like, oh, they're not as good. Like, he was like, no, these people are like really great.
So what maybe you could say is, right, in the language, you would say something like, we are your equals now, but they are looking to ascend further, right? Like, we are these people are currently climbing the ladder, and they are seeking more power, not necessarily as a threat to Coza, right? But just in general, we're ambitious. And ambition is always well received in this culture.
And especially in regards to taking out the people who taking out the person who took out theirs. So that's why I don't want to downplay them. I'm like, oh, we're going to take...
my enemy is my friend.
Yeah, exactly, sort of thing. I think I'll just kind of, I'll say similar sort of thing as to what I already said to the guards. And
then just play that specific word game. Okay. Cool. So you say that, and let's see. I think the lead worshiper says, ambitious ones approach the throne of the Great Coza, and then like the worshippers chant in unison. The Great Coza loves ambition, encourages ambition, praises ambition.
I'll probably, as all this is happening, I probably will be translating to Raya through my Ring of Mind Shielding,
right,
just because. This is looking weird even to me.
Yeah, did you tell her, like, did you do that, like, with telepathy as you were saying what you were saying to the lead worshiper, so she understands what your story is now?
I probably gave her the gist of it as we were walking towards it. Because, I mean, what else?
Yeah,
because
you can tell
being like, you're my master, just go with it.
Yeah.
I would hope.
Yeah, I've given her the gist of what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
I probably said a few things. One, I'll be saying you're my master. Two, my name is Tepid here and nothing else.
I don't think I would ever refer to you as your full name.
I know, but he makes that very clear.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that all happens, and Koza obviously has been paying attention to what you've said and what your story is, and so the leader worshiper turns to Koza and says, "What does the great Koza desire?" And then the worshippers chant in unison, "The desires of the great Koza are paramount."
This is the weirdest thing ever, man.
Yeah.
So they're Disney.
I think
That's a mouse.
we found
No, well, I mean
The Great Mouse, yeah.
I think
They
we
probably-
found our first cult. Second cult. Sorry.
They desire paramount. The desire is for the snake is paramount.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I did not see that one
Oh,
coming.
So, yeah, Koza kind of like smiles wider and then says, "Tabaxi, come closer."
I'm trying to think how he would process this. I don't think I'm gonna get. I'm just afraid I'm gonna get eaten. He'll comply. I mean, he doesn't want to make. Here's the thing, and this is why I'm going this way. One of his goals is protect Raya, and the way he sees it, protecting Raya is to make sure these people are on their side. And so he wants to do the best to make Raya look good.
Yeah.
Despite how much this is making his skin crawl.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So he follows along. I'm just giving him my motivations. He's really doesn't want to, but he comes closer.
Yeah, and then the worshippers all chant in unison, "Ah, the Tabaxi approaches. Blessed is the Tabaxi above all cats." Or something like that, right? In yuan-ti, whatever that translates to. And so, yeah, Koza kind of like leans down until he's very close to you, close to your face. And he's still like smiling, this beatific smile. And he says, "So, your master Raya seeks to become the seventh serpent?"
Yes.
Well, this thing is like she's not a serpent, so it's like.
Yeah, but so was not another person who started to turn into a snake, and you know.
There've been multiple people like that, yeah.
Yeah. What if none of them were snakes at first?
So how would he respond to this? Oh, I know how he say. I know what he would say. He respond, "Would that please the great Koza?"
Yeah, he says, "The great Koza has moved beyond petty squabbles such as the rivalry between the serpents. Ambition for ambition's sake is what I desire. Ascension can be achieved without desiring politics."
Give me a second. I'm writing this down. This is important. I feel.
I mean, we certainly are ambitious, if anything.
I think I.
I mean, that's
Very
something
true.
that is not a lie.
Very true.
I think I would say I was like I can. He probably would say I can assure you they are very ambitious.
Yes, I can tell. Not just anyone would go against Mazayol, the void serpent, and certainly not after he has ascended further. Yes, I have felt the tremors, the leaking energy as Erendira passed from this world, her life devoured. Mazayol is close. What would you desire of me, Tepin, servant of Raya Olafemi, one who has climbed the ladder?
So I can say, only cares for ambition. Knows we're ambitious because of. Just trying to write all this down.
Mm-hmm. Raya, Ari, and Darius, several snakes have started, like, slithering, like, near your feet. Do any of you make any concerted effort to, like avoid them?
As long as they're just minding their own business and not trying to bite me.
Okay. Yeah, so, like, if you got, like, they start slithering around you guys, and then one or two of them maybe starts to, like, slither onto your feet. Does anyone still not do anything? Okay. Yeah, so you just kind of, like, let the snakes just kind of, like, slowly start to, like...
You guys think you're uncomfortable.
I mean, Darius hates snakes. So
Yeah, can we
that's-
not forget about that?
Yeah, like, I feel like Ari is more, like, focused on, like, Darius,
Right,
like, flipping
right.
out right now, because she knows that fact. I think she, like, just, like, grabs onto, like, Darius's, like, not his hand, but, like, his elbow kind of a thing. She just, like, grabs onto it, just, like, as a comforting, like, touch.
I'm trying to think of how Darius would respond.
I don't have any way to calm him, unfortunately.
Like, Darius will be fine. I'm just trying to think of what his actual response is.
Yeah, because I'm not telling him, hey, this guy doesn't like snakes.
Right, yeah.
Especially since I don't think I know that. And to be fair, I don't like snakes. So I think he would. I'll wait for you,
Well,
Jordan, to
give
give
me
your
a sec.
response before.
Yeah. I'm formulating. I think I know what I'm going to say. I think Darius just, like, closes his eyes and sighs, and then, like, kind of, like, says, kind of quietly, just loud, like, he doesn't turn or anything. He just keeps his eyes closed and he's kind of looking forward, and kind of just mutters to, like, he's not looking towards Ari, but he's, like, still talking to Ari, and he just goes, Ari, I have learned to choose what I have not chosen. I'm here now, and I will be okay. I knew this was coming. I've been preparing myself for this.
Just gonna continue to mumble under your breath.
They're not snakes, they're worms. They're not snakes, they're worms. And Darius, Darius mutters that to himself.
Yeah.
I think probably what he said, what do I desire from him?
Yeah. Like, why would you come and present yourself? Like...
He said, well, it is just as you say. While Mazayol has ascended quite far, we are seeking for those two. I don't know. I'd say, and we are seeking those who also have the ambition to see him fall.
Okay, so he looks at you and says a very, very common, like, phrase in yuan-ti. He says, and what would this arrangement benefit me?
Well, okay, no, this is actually just reminding me thing. Do I know about She of the Jade Skirt?
What about?
Do I know about it at all? Have they told me?
What about her? Just that
anything
about? I mean, you know, She of the Jade Skirt is the patron goddess of the yuan-ti, But yeah, I don't know. Have you guys told him anything more than
I
that?
feel like that's one detail you guys left out, but I don't remember. I feel like there was a detail you specifically didn't tell me.
Oh,
'Cause-
I specifically left out the whole to everybody. I think that we're trying to prevent them getting something about the bones of the jade skirt.
Right, that we haven't found, that he's trying to find the bones, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, so
we're
not
trying
just the
to-
bones, but like the body itself. Like
Yeah.
Right.
she's only asleep, not dead.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And I didn't say anything about that because I was just like, we just need to focus on killing him because that's how I think it's best gonna go. And then if that doesn't work, then we can focus on trying to destroy the body. But I'll bring that up later.
Yeah.
But I didn't mention
So
it.
you don't know anything about that, Tepin.
Okay. I still
He
remember.
says, and how does this arrangement benefit me?
I know what I want to say. I'm just trying to think of how to best say it. Essentially, what he's going to try and say is like, hey, this guy he consumed one, he's going to consume another, and soon he might try and take over the entire continent, island, whatever we're on exactly.
The basin, yeah.
Take over the entire basin.
soon he might consume you.
Yeah, soon he might try and come for you.
Okay, and so what do you want him to do here?
Essentially, I'm trying to say, like, hey, this guy's a threat. If he keeps growing in power like he's growing, he's gonna take over.
Right,
the
but
entire
what is your specific suggestion here? Like, what does he do for you guys?
I will say, I see the thing. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, provide us the ability to further our goal of taking him down. I don't know what he has, so I don't know. So like whether
Could
it's
Tepin maybe like kind of imply that he's like, is there anything like imply that he's asking, is there anything you can do to help us?
yeah. Is there anything you
preventing
can do to
this?
help us take him down? Like, look,
Right.
he's this guy's a danger. He's a threat. We're looking for help. What kind of help could you provide, possibly?
Okay, yeah. So you kind of like ask him that, and he kind of starts swaying back and forth, and the worshippers chant in unison, "Ah, the Great Coza is considering an arrangement," and eventually he stops, and he says, I think he says, I have some ideas of how I could help you. Is all you are offering mutual, or is all that you are offering a chance to survive? Is my life and the life of my inferiors the only compensation? This does not seem like a beneficial arrangement.
Give me 1 second.
We could spread the fame of the
The
snake throughout the
Great
region.
Coza.
We spread the fame of the Great Coza. And therefore his power will increase.
The Great Coza would love Clement.
Oh, honestly, if Teppa knew how, I don't know if Teppa knows how much you guys hate Clement, but he would totally offer that.
How about the guy who's standing over there?
He is ambitious and you may have him.
It's a snack.
We offer you this sacrifice, Great Coza.
And then Tepin explains he demands a sacrifice of Clement. And everyone's just like, well, sorry, Clement.
Sorry,
it's
like
you."
this is the only way it works.
Everybody just pushes him
We
forward.
don't even know how he knew about you, but he did.
Look, he demanded we sacrifice the most powerful Clement. We are so sorry it's you.
He asked for a sacrifice of the most clement one here.
Probably he'll respond with, because he doesn't. He's like, I mean, like he's like, I have some stuff, but I don't want to give it. Oh, ooh.
Did you hear what I said, Seth, about like trying to spread his fame and trying to get him?
I don't know if that would go with him though. I don't know. So I
Well-
think like he's just gonna respond. He's like, Oh, Great Coza, may I speak with my master of this?
One must always speak with one's betters when coming to an arrangement.
He hates him saying that.
And so the worshippers intone, "Ah, the arrangement continues,"
So
as you step away.
I'll step away and go to him,
Yeah.
and I'll sound like, and I've been explaining this to Raya, but I'll kind of explain the situation to the rest of them because I can only do it to one person. So I'm like,
so here's the thing. Say it to Raya in her mind, and then she'll relay it to us in common, so that way they can't understand anything.
I've already been doing that.
I know, but I'm just saying because then we'll just have the conversation common, so that way they can't even hear what we're saying.
The one thing of do I speak any? I don't speak any other language.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You speak primordial, yuan-ti,
We can have the conversation in Dwarvish.
Well, here's what I think I'll do because here's the thing. While Raya knows what's happening, Coza doesn't know I've been explaining this to her. So I'm going to have to at least show that I'm explaining it. So I'll go and I'll explain, because here's the thing, even if I explain it in primordial, all those people around already know what's happening. So what I'll do is I'll explain in primordial, then you can talk in common.
Okay, sure.
I'll do that. So I'll go down and kind of explain the gist of what's happening in primordial. And then I'll probably just leave it at that for me anyway.
Okay. I don't really know what else we have to offer this guy.
We have Clement. No, I'm just kidding.
We can ask him what he wants, or again, like, how do you? I mean, I want to ask the DM what he thinks about the fame idea, but I'm not sure if that's something he can give.
I can't tell you
know.
information about that.
Can we Can I make some kind of like insight roll to see like maybe what this guy would want based on the knowledge that Teppan has given me?
Yeah.
Actually, could I as well?
Let's have the person who has the highest insight make the roll and with
Plus
advantage.
7.
Okay.
8.
So Raya.
That makes me
Darius,
so nervous. I don't like being the one with
Do you
the
have
highest.
a higher insight than that, Darius? I don't think you do, right? Yeah. Just making sure. All right, Raya. Make that roll with advantage.
Okay.
Can you think of a time you were helping with negotiations?
I'm already getting advantage because it's all of us, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all of us putting our heads together to figure out what he wants.
Okay.
There you
27.
go.
27.
That's good.
Nice.
27. Okay, so
What's gonna work?
teamwork. Yeah. Let's see. So from what, if Teppan relayed the conversation exactly as it happened, then your guess, Raya and the rest of you, is this guy's not as interested in like a political ascension as much as maybe an enlightenment ascension. Maybe there are and maybe this is something that you're kind of realizing, like maybe there are different types of ascension, or at the very least different ways to ascend, or different motivations for ascending, whatever that means in yuan-ti culture, right? Like it's not necessarily means, oh, I'm in charge of everyone now. So what this guy's kind of implying is, yes, I'm in charge of this little village, but I obviously want to seek ascension, because all yuan-ti want to seek ascension, but I'm not terribly interested in like becoming one of the seven serpents. I'm more interested in possibly, and again, he's been very vague about this, but your guess from like the surroundings and stuff is either like knowledge or material wealth, or something like that.
Seems like it's almost adoration in a way.
Possibly, but I mean, so Coza hasn't it hasn't seemed to you guys that he's been like, oh yes, I am the greatest, like that sort of thing. He's honestly been super like nonchalant, just like like kind of going back and forth.
We can offer him.
Could we offer him knowledge about?
I was about to say, like, sitting down with him and explaining about our cultures and everything, like any questions that he has for us that we're able to answer about world he doesn't know.
Yeah. I think that makes. I think you think that that makes sense, right? That seems correct with your insight, specifically because he's been watching you all very intently throughout this whole process. And maybe you can't recognize the expression because it's still a snake, but it looks like he's curious, so that might work.
Okay, so I'll kind of come back with that.
Curiosity caught the cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so we kind of decide on that then. Break or whatever.
Yeah.
So I look to Coza and I kind of like, I'll say, Great Coza, may I approach?
He pauses for a moment and then like does something like, or he doesn't really, he just kind of sways, and you can't even distinguish it from a normal sway, but then the lead worshiper obviously recognizes it and says, the Great Coza has acquiesced to the tabaxi. He may approach. Approach the Great Coza. They all chant in unison.
Okay, so I'll approach him and say, Great Coza, as I have told you, my master here comes from a land far, far away.
Mm-hmm.
What we can offer you is knowledge of this land and its culture.
And then he says, and in return, I give you resources to aid in your struggle to ascend.
If it pleases the Great Coza, yes.
Make a persuasion check. With advantage because of that insight. Yeah.
I was like,
20?
Double
oh, it
25.
doesn't even matter.
Okay, yeah.
I rolled
So
2 10s.
he sways back and forth, and then you guys are again pretty close again, right? So he leans down, and then he kisses your forehead. And it's probably the most unnerving thing that's ever happened to you, Tevin.
He just put his mouth near my face.
Exactly. And then in unison, all of the worshipers chant.
It's like a person's face. It's not
Exactly. It's not like a snake tongue. It's literally just like an old man, just like.
That's right. It does look like that. That's right.
So weird.
Yep. And then all the worshipers chant in unison. The tabaxi has been bestowed the greatest blessing of all, the kiss of the Great Coza. Yes, and so that happens, and then Coza says, basically, you are correct in assuming that I am interested in your culture and your world. I often seek knowledge such as this. It is part of my road to ascension.
Just wait until he hears about Darius's world.
Yeah, right. And then he says, do you have any specific requests of me per the arrangement?
Spread the
We
word.
need Dragon Balls. No.
My gosh.
Wishing orbs, please.
At this point, he would probably say, something along the lines of like he's like, would this be a good thing that
Like, is it okay to just give him the information that we have now and be able to call upon him later when we know exactly what our needs are?
What I was thinking is, I imagine he's going to want this information. It's probably going to take like a day or something.
Yeah,
like
we just
that.
sit with him now.
And so we can just like sit with him and talk, and we can discuss kind of what we were thinking.
Yeah, because so part of the thing that maybe comes to your mind, Raya, is you might want to demand something at least now, because it's entirely possible if you guys are gone for a while
We're
that Mazayol
physically
just
not going to be able to come. Yeah,
that Mazayol might just like
consume this whole place.
consume this whole place anyway, right? So who knows?
If he has, I would really love if he had a gem encrusted bowl worth at least 1,000 gold pieces.
He absolutely does.
So I'll just tell him like,
yeah.
so what I'll do is I'll say like, Koza, if it pleases you, would it be good to have a time to sit down and we may all discuss these sorts of things as we tell you of the foreign lands?
Yeah, and he says, the time is now, Tabaxi.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, Darius.
1, diamonds. I mean, you want to bring back a certain friend. 2, in my case, silver dust. Is that what I'm looking for right now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Powdered
So is this like an opportunity where each of us are getting like to see if
You know
he
what?
has the things we want?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
So can I just like have them like come up and we'll just like discuss and everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
And I'll translate if necessary.
Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. I'm going to ask each of you a question about your world, right? Like, and what he's going to ask you. And then we'll assume that you fill in other details or whatever, but this is probably his like most important question for each of you. So he asks you, Tepin, he asks,
I mean, I'm like native to this area, so
right, but he's still curious. Let's say he starts with Raya, though. I think he's going to ask you a question and probably take you off guard by asking a question, but it's probably going to be last. So Raya, he asks you and asks, what are you?
That's what I was hoping
Right?
the question was going to be. So I just say, I'm what is called a tiefling, and I think that since I know multiple other languages, I just kind of say, like, I think the translation kind of, it's the name of a race in my native tongue, but I think it translates in all other languages to what we are.
Well, so that's the thing, right? Like, it depends. What are you going to tell him? You could say what everyone else translates the word tiefling to mean, which is demon spawn, right?
Yeah.
Or you could be like whatever the word actually means in infernal, which could be something more flattering. Up to you. Right, because it would probably be something like, in infernal, it would probably be something like, people who have been bestowed the gift or something, right? Like,
or like the gifted humans or something like that.
Yeah, right. Like some sort of translation that means like people, but now they're better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would
Something
have
that elevates her to the status that the reason why she is master.
Yes. Let's see. I'll say in every other language it translates to demon spawn, but in my native language it's the blessed people.
Yeah, the blessed
and
people.
he would understand how that works.
Right. Yeah.
And we are part demon and part anything else that a demon is. I feel like, are there other
so I think the Egyptian tieflings are descended from probably humans who made a deal at some point in the very distant past, like the ancient pharaohs, right? Like made a pact with the devil, and then their whole race became like this. Whether or not that's the case for every type of tiefling, unsure, but at least that's the Egyptian myth.
Okay, so I'll say that's how like my people came to be, and with it comes certain advantages. And I just say like how fire doesn't really bother me as much as other people, and it's just tieflings. Oh, and I say we all once we mature to a certain point can also do this, and I like cast darkness,
right?
That's a racial trait.
Mm-hmm. And then the worshippers intone, we cannot see. We cannot look upon the great majesty of the Coza.
And then let's see. Can I also have like thaumaturgy blow it away? Can thaumaturgy do that? I mean, it can open and
Sure, you
shut.
can because you have power over the darkness spell, you can make it look like you're like blowing away the
And I create a whooshing sound with
Yeah.
thaumaturgy then.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, yeah. He just continues to smile and sway back and forth as you tell him this. And then after you explain these things, I think he asks a follow-up question and says, let's see. Is this what makes you the master?
I say
And this is all probably happening in Primordial because once it's understood that you guys can't speak yuan-ti, he would switch to Primordial anyway.
Well, he probably heard us speaking Primordial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I say no, that's I also have other magic that I'm able to do.
Yeah, and he kind of sways back and forth, smiles again, and then says, "Yes, I sense great magic coming from you." But he doesn't press any further with it, right? And you could tell by his gaze that he probably knows
He knows stuff.
more than he's letting on, but he just doesn't say anything. Yeah. He asks you, Ari, probably something about
What's it like to sleep with animals?
No, he
It's
asks.
an animal, so
Yeah. I think he asks you, Ari.
why
What
are you so
bring-
plain?
No. He asks,
Humans are boring.
"What brings you such sorrow?"
Oh.
And this is like after he's asked you a bunch of like really boring, bland questions about like, what's it like being a human? What's your culture like? And then you just give him the details, right? Like,
I think she says, "What makes you think that I'm sorrowful?"
and then the worshippers intone, "Ah, the pink one questions the Great Coza."
I think Teppan might step in with his ring of mind shield and it's like, please do not question him like this.
But Koza doesn't seem phased at all by it. He's just like swaying back and forth. And he says, "Sometimes loss is needed to ascend."
Oh.
I mean, that's
Shedding-
how Goku. That's how Goku did it.
Ari-
That's how
Ari-
Gohan did it.
Well, real quick, he also says, shedding what we once held on to so dearly, like our broken skin.
You heard him.
I think she says like, hold on. Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
She says, "I'm sorrowful because I was the dead skin that somebody needed to lose to ascend."
Oh.
Whoa, that was a great line. Yeah. He continues to sway. And he says, "Ah, yes." And that's all he says. And then he looks at you, Darius, and he says, "What is it like?" And he stares at you, and you know exactly what he means. He knows. Somehow he knows.
Okay.
He is the Great Coza.
For
Of
my
course he
sake.
knows.
What is he referring to specifically? Is he referring to Toity? Is he referring to the fact that I'm from a different dimension?
Different dimension.
Okay. And Darius says, admittedly, once I figured it out, a little disorienting at first.
Yes, I remember that.
What? That doesn't sound good.
Hold on, I need to like think for a second.
What?
This. I'm really nervous about what question I'm going to be asked now.
Can I like? I
think-
mean,
honestly, I think Darius says, I had the feeling you'd know.
The Great Coza knows all.
Let's see what else. I think Darius would add. Oh man, what is like the main? I'm trying to think of like what the main difference between this world and the other one would be. Like if I were to describe the two.
I don't know if there's enough main differences
Yeah.
in like. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of what else I could add.
Mm-hmm.
or if you can just say everyone seems like a little different here, something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, I'd probably say. It is as if everyone here is themselves, but also not.
He sways knowingly. Is that all you say?
It is like walking down a path that you've been through before, but somebody moved the road.
Continues to sway. And then finally, after a moment, he says, always jarring at first. Slowly, though, the new environment we inhabit begins to change us.
And Darius nods.
So it always must be.
Indeed.
Our lives, our very energy is connected to the energy around us. If that energy is different, we must adapt. I pray that you adapt, Darius. And then he turns to Tepin and he says, out loud to everyone, who is Atabai? I sense
You
the
know what?
name in your energy, but I
There-
do not know the significance.
There are much worse questions you could have asked me. I'm actually fine with this one. Wait. How?
Do you ask him that?
No. How does he sense that presence? I'm honestly curious. Well, because here's the thing. I have the ring of mind shielding on, and he's in it.
Right.
So I'm not sure how he's even able to figure out.
Can he like read thoughts?
Even if he can't read my thoughts.
Right.
Maybe he can. Maybe he can just sense. I don't know. Maybe
let me do an inventory in my mind real quick of like what this guy's powers are.
I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily shield what's in the ring of mind shielding.
Okay, I think his question is, what are you hiding?
Oh, what am I hiding?
I sense an absence where a presence should be. You are keeping it hidden from everyone. Why?
Oh, great, because that's a question I want to answer.
I think he said that in yuan-ti, actually, Tepin.
Oh, okay, that's better.
Yeah. At least for now. He might say it out loud again in Primordial, but...
Because I haven't told them, because I haven't, how much have I told the others about Atsubai?
Just Darius. I think... No, I don't think you told him anything about... There was something that happened.
No, he knows because of the confrontation we had.
Right, but I'm trying to remember what he knows exactly. I think he only knows that you wanted to get in touch with Miggy. Not that you have a dead god in your ring.
Right. You know about Miggy, but...
I thought I showed him my ring at one point. I thought that was what happened at the same time.
Tepin told Darius his caretaker's name is Atabai, and that
You have
the
that written in your
ring
notes?
is not Jablanque. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I guess he does know at least that much.
Yeah, your notes are more detailed than mine, apparently. So he asked, "What am I hiding?" What was it? What was the exact question again?
What are you hiding? I sense an absence where a presence should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you hiding it from everyone?
The thing is, part of me is like, I should just say, "Oh, I have this magic ring," but it's probably like, no, showing that to as a slave, when you've just applied your slave, is not a good idea. No, I don't think lying is necessarily going to help either, because technically, Raya, in a sense, is Tepin's master in a sense. What am I hiding, and why are you hiding it? I'm trying to think of how we'd answer this. I want to go with some. I'm thinking of something along the lines of when you're in my line of work.
Being a slave?
Well, even say like, well, it's like. I'm thinking he's going to say something along the lines when you're in my line of when you do what I do, you need to know how to keep your secrets. Which would work as a slave, I feel.
Okay, so you say that.
Well, I'm saying I'm thinking of something along those. I'm trying to think of.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think if there's a good way to say that, or if that's even what I really want to do. I feel like there's something better I could say, But unfortunately, I think that's the best he can say without technically lying.
Yeah.
Because he's noticed this guy is obviously picking up stuff. Even if he can't read my mind, he's very perceptive.
Yeah, so you say that, and he says, I will not reveal your secret. I merely am curious about it. Why don't you just tell me? There is no reason to keep secrets from me.
He's probably decided, I cannot, the thing is, I cannot just tell you, I have to show you.
Then do so.
He'll probably then hold his hand up kind of like this to kind of mask it. You know, kind of to kind of like so you can show it, but without like necessarily showing everybody.
Yeah.
And show kind of like, and he'll make the ring visible because he can make it invisible.
Yeah.
And so he'll make it visible. It's like I have a ring that lets me shield my thoughts.
Ah, but you shield more than thoughts, do you not? You shield the thoughts of another. One who has ascended far further than I have, or even any of the 7 serpents.
Really? Oh, I guess that's true. He was a god at one point.
I mean, yeah, he's given you warlock abilities, so.
Yeah.
He's at least
Yes.
as powerful as a demon or a fae, so.
Say yes, he has there is a being in there. He has granted me the ability to help those around me.
Ah, I understand. The tribal, he says, the tradition of your tribe is difficult to shake, I think.
It is.
I know who you hide, but do not worry. I will not reveal it if you do not wish me to. I merely ask one more question. May I speak with him?
This didn't go well last time this happened.
Yeah, but this guy already knows who it is. You'll be fine.
I think at this point the thing is, if I'm surrounded by these people. If I don't comply, I'm pretty sure he can make it happen anyway, you know? So I'm like, so I'll kind of just how do I even control that? How did that happen with Darius? I don't remember.
What do you
I
mean?
think didn't Darius just touch the ring or something?
Yeah, I think Darius just, like, touched the ring.
Okay, so I'll kind of hold out my hand.
Yeah, and he comes and he kisses the ring, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And something happens that you're not aware of. Like, you feel your hand tingle, and Koza's eyes widen, and then his smile deepens, and then he goes back and starts to sway again, and then just says, "Thank you," in primordial.
He kissed my ring. In some ways, that makes... In some cultures, that means
I
I'm
am
better.
his master now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
am
so
the
you have
captain
no
now.
idea what, like, happened between them, but
So we didn't see that.
you saw him kiss Tapuma's hand.
I may have made it go invisible after when he said that, because he knows it's there. It's invisible. It's not non-existent.
Yeah. Yeah, so there was definitely a weird thing that happened there. They were speaking to yuan-ti for a while, so nothing you could understand it. And then he just says thank you in primordial to him.
Can I make a perception check to see if I notice the ring appearing and disappearing?
Sure.
Like I, know
I would
he's
have done
trying
it.
to
I would have
subtle.
done it very close to my
Make
chest.
a, make
So
a,
make a
make,
stealth
make a
check.
sleight of
Yeah.
hit. Make a sleight of hand check or stealth.
Would it
Yeah,
be
one of
stealth or
those.
sleight of? But they're both the same.
Yeah, one of those.
Sleight of hand, since it's on my hand.
Sure.
31.
31.
Yeah, okay, I can't. Nope. No, I don't notice anything.
You're just blind right now. Raya's darkness spell didn't actually go away. It's just. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that happens. And then
Ari's so incompetent today. It's
it's
ridiculous.
okay. It's okay.
You're distracted by the snakes.
So Coza looks to all of you then, and then says, I will now admit one boon of each. You may choose to accept this boon now or at a time of your choosing. And then our agreement will be concluded. You could literally just be like, hey, do you have a
Booyah.
gem encrusted bowl worth 300 GP?
Well, 1,000.
Or 1,000? Okay.
Well, I was gonna say if he wanted to learn more things, we have more people, but I don't know how well that would be taken just to bring them in from the
I mean, I don't know what we need to tell him more about for.
No, let's not suggest that because I don't want Clement and this snake.
No, but I would, but like getting Sabu and Samuel at least we could. Well, then I could try and learn more about what Navarro wants. Honestly,
Right.
it's a double. But yeah, I don't know what they would want because it doesn't seem like any of these people really would be. Well, okay. Everybody, if I'll let everybody else go first, then I would.
Sure. So yeah, he waits for one of you to say something. I'm like, oh, what do you want?
And I just kind of like be like, go ahead.
I would like a diamond worth 300 gold pieces, please.
Yeah, so you basically like, maybe you just like go over to Raya, like take one out of her pack, and then just like, I want one of these.
Yeah, I don't know if Raya would let me.
Maybe not.
Does it do that?
I mean,
but-
they're big heckin' diamonds. Like it's not like Raya is like, it's not like they're hidden in a pocket somewhere, right?
right.
And then as soon as you say it, I like look at you and I like nod as like, obviously I'm gonna do it because you're getting a diamond.
If I get a diamond,
Yeah,
Then
so you say
yes.
that, you say like, hey, you know,
yes, I
do
want a
one of these.
diamond.
Yeah, I want a diamond. Yeah. I mean, his perpetual smile does not cease. So, he,
Do I have to make some kind of roll or something to see if he actually has that or no?
no, I don't think so. I think what happens is he uncoils his like body, and you see that like he's like actually like sitting on a bunch of treasure.
Ooh.
And he literally just like reaches in, takes out a diamond, and just like sets it in the hand of his lead worshiper, and the lead worshiper like says, you have been blessed, and hands it to you, and then all the other ones intone, a gift from the Great Coza.
Okay, I would like to point out that
I got
Darius
my
does-
diamond.
I would like to point out that Darius does know the spell as well.
I know, but Ari doesn't know that.
Yeah.
I know that, but
Yeah.
Ari doesn't know that. She just knows that clerics know the spell. So
Oh wait, no. I don't. It won't work on. What does Revivify work on him still?
yeah, because
gentle
of gentle
repose.
repose.
Yeah,
Okay, because you cast a Gentle Repose, Revivify
Yeah.
will still work. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
That's
I
why
gladly take my
always-
diamond and I say, "Thank you. I will be a little less sorrowful." Because
does
of your
Darius even know? I mean, Darius should. Yeah, Darius knows. Does Darius know that Raya won't or wouldn't cast the spell before or whatever?
gift. I think so. I mean, I think
No, because you weren't there for that conversation, because you were looking for the lady.
Right.
yeah,
I mean,
So you
it's,
probably
We
missed
kind of talked about it afterwards.
it's fine. I got my diamond, guys. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So
Right,
I
but-
think when he says, you say like, no, I will be less sorrowful now. And he looks at you and he says, no, you will not.
Ouch!
Can I make an
Ouch!
insight check
You're
on
a
that?
savage
Sure.
snake. A savage little snaky snake.
Some sort of weird magic, probably. That's your guess, right? He's like either pretending really well or has seen some sort of fortune or something like that, right? Or like sent some vibes on you or whatever. He's obviously like seeing with more than eyes when he says that.
Ari just is like, you don't know me, fool. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take my diamond, thanks.
Yeah.
I love Koza.
One of the weirdest NPCs by far, but it hasn't been bad.
So far, and
Like,
we
he's-
aren't killing him. Oh, yes.
I don't think we could get away with it.
I don't think we could stomach it. I kind of like him.
Well, Darius, Tebin.
Darius, go first.
Yeah,
I already established myself as a servant. Me going first is not going to help anything.
Yeah. I think Darius asks for the powdered silver.
They have it. He gives it to you.
Wait.
Wow,
Darius.
this little shanty village sure has a lot of treasure.
Yeah, I know. I wonder where they got
The
it.
Great Koza. Find
Darius
treasure.
bows and thanks him.
Interesting.
I look to Raya because I'm like, I said I was your servant. I really shouldn't go before you.
So I say, would you happen to have a gem encrusted bowl worth at least 1,000 gold pieces?
And he grabs it with his mouth and just sets it in front of you.
With his human teeth just going,
Literally, yeah.
He's
so
like that
weird.
weird original Sonic the Hedgehog with
Yes,
teeth.
absolutely. Absolutely he is. Mm-hmm.
and I just go, thank you, Great Koza. I have been very blessed.
What spell is
The
that
blessing
for?
of the Great Coza falls upon Ryolfemi.
What spell is that even for? Out of curiosity.
Hero's Feast.
What's that do?
Up to 12 creatures are cured of all diseases and poison, become immune to poison, being frightened, and make all wisdom saves with advantage. Hit points also increase by 2d10, and you gain the same number of hit points, and it lasts for 24 hours.
Dang.
That is called I am preparing for a great battle. And I wanted that for a while.
Tepin.
I'm noticing like they're all asking for like treasure and stuff like that, but I'm like, I know what I want.
And
And
tabaxi to be free.
I say like, oh great Koza, I seek not a treasure for myself, but I do seek for the freedom of my brethren that you have out there.
You
then
didn't think
he's
it was possible, but his smile actually does widen. And then he says, so that is what you see. I always wonder. And then he seems to be thinking. He's like swaying back and forth.
Oh. It's not a tabaxi.
I said I do not understand.
And he's like swaying back and forth, thinking. And then he says, I believe he is useless to me now. Do you think your travels will be hindered by him? This is one thing I did not foresee. But you may
He
have
just
him
picked
if
up
you wish.
another, like...
Hmm?
Jeez.
But you may have him if you wish.
For the record, did the rest of us see a tabaxi in a cage?
None of you got a high enough perception to see anything.
Okay.
And
Real quick, would
But,
everyone
like,
make a
what-
perception check for me real quick?
And also, I would say Koza is taking this as he wants his brother, like he wants that thing released from the cage, whereas Tepin's meaning he wants Tabaxi to be free.
I want I want
No,
the
no.
cage.
He wants the tabaxi he saw in the cage to
Right,
be free.
but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's like if it's not really a tabaxi, I don't know if Teppan really cares.
Right, but yeah,
That's-
Koza was vague enough that I don't know if Tevin realizes it yet. So
Well,
you
it
can make an
says
insight.
that's what you see. I think Teppan's
Yeah.
like, wait, did I?
I just kind of go, what's out there then?
I thought, like, did I? He said, like, did I not see? Did I not see a tabaxi out there?
You did indeed see a tabaxi.
But is that what it is?
I don't know if that question has meaning anymore with one such as he.
Is it like a rakshasa or something?
Or is it something that's turning into a snake?
Or
Oh,
some
frick.
other third
Ari,
thing.
you notice just the briefest flicker of something that looks sort of familiar in his like pile of treasure before his coils like continue and wrap around it again. But you're like, this seemed familiar, but you have no like place to like be like, oh, it was this, and that's why it seems familiar.
I bet it was one of our old magic items.
Oh, so one of Tony's magic items.
I bet it was the rod of rulership.
But yeah, so what happens, right, is like he says, you may take the captive.
I'm sorry. I am.
Can I like roll insight to see like I mean I'm
someone
sure
can roll
I'm not
insight,
going to
yeah.
be able to
Anybody can.
insight on this guy, but
Mhm.
25. I think the Great Coza is just very hard to read.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because 25 is pretty good. I'm trying to think of there's
that's
stuff that you could put together here. Okay, so what you know based on like your reading of his emotions and stuff is, I think it seems weird to you that he just happened to have every single specific item that you guys wanted. It was almost as if he prepared for that on purpose. And you're not entirely sure what that means, but you feel like it's connected with whatever's in that cage. But you don't know any specifics, so you're not sure.
I don't know what this means. Because the thing is, if it is a tabaxi, even if it's a hindrance, Tepid would not want nothing more than to.
But like it's not a tabaxi.
I think Tepid needs to be sure. Tepid might say,
Yeah.
Great Coza, if it is okay with you, may we inspect this captive before I finalize my request?
I just and I also
Yeah.
say to Teppan, I would say it would have been a nice to know what your request or given a warning of what your request was to your master before it was given.
He's like,
Oh boy. Yeah, so Koza says you may, I do believe that you will still in the end choose to free this captive.
okay, we'll go and see what it is.
Yeah, so you guys get let out. The Koza, the Great Koza stays inside his cushy palace, but
Of course.
you get let out, and you see this cage, and Teppan, you see a tabaxi curled up in the cage. Each of you see something different. Raya, you see a young tiefling child in a dress. Ori, you see a. What would you see? Trying to think of like the specific interpretations of each of these for you guys.
Ari sees Buck. Oh no, Ari sees Miggy.
No, Ari sees some sort of half dragon person. And Darius,
Like a
you
dragonborn? Or
no, like you know what dragonborn look like. It's not dragonborn exactly. It's literally as if someone is becoming a dragon.
Like how the yuan-ti, like they're becoming.
Yeah,
snakes.
kind of, yeah. And then Darius, you just see like a shadow, like it's like a silhouette of a person, but that's it. And each of them are curled up on the floor of the this
But we all
cage.
see it in the same area.
Yeah, you all see the this whatever this thing is, and then you like approach
this is
it.
no to like Ari just says this is no tabaxi.
I'll be like, what are you saying?
Can I make an Arcana check? Because like I'm already like just of this.
Yeah.
Based on what Coza was saying.
Sure.
Yeah, can I make one too?
19.
Yeah, I mean honestly, I think it would have been like whoever has the highest with advantage.
Oh.
Who has the highest Arcana?
that
Oh,
would've
well,
been me.
currently that's Alyssa.
Okay, so let's
Yeah.
say that the 22 is the roll.
Because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have rolled it if I knew that because I only have a 1.
No, you're good. Yeah.
How do I have a higher Arcana than you?
No one's trained
I
it. You just have
wasn't
higher
raised in
intelligence.
magic.
I know it just doesn't make
Well,
sense.
Arcana was one thing I could have chosen to be proficient in,
Yeah.
but I thought with my backstory it wouldn't have made sense.
I know, I just think it's funny.
So you guys kind of like, I think maybe you and Raya are the ones who are like actually like thinking about this, and both of you probably pick up on the one detail you can know, which is it's not that you've like heard about this specific thing or this like specific creature or whatever. What your guess is there's some sort of maybe curse on whatever this person is or thing or whatever. Because if you guys like in any way, shape, or form like talk to each other about what you're seeing, which I assume you would if you're
Yeah,
like, doing an
Alyssa
Arcana check.
Ari said this is no tabaxi. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, and so you all very quickly realize everybody sees something different, and it's probably not like you have no myth about like a shape changer that looks different to everybody. It's just like probably a curse. And then the figure, whatever, and all of you see it move in the ways that you are seeing it, right? It kind of like looks up and then slowly gets to its feet, puts like its hands on the bars, and then says, "You." And each of you hear it in whatever the voice of that thing is, right? So you hear it in a tabaxi voice. Raya hears it in this little girl's voice. Ari hears it like a, in Draconic, speaking like this dragon
Oh,
person.
it's speaking different languages?
Yeah.
does he say it to a different person or all to the same person?
It's everyone thinks they're looking at them. Darius, you just hear it's like the slightest whisper on the air.
I turn to Ari. I'm going to put on the hood, and if something goes wrong, take it off.
I mean, first she just says like, okay, but then she's like, who cursed you?
You don't recognize me?
Who are you?
I
Don't remember.
No, so that's what the shadow says. The shadow says, "I've forgotten." The dragon says something horrible. The child says, "I'm scared,"
Oh.
and the tabaxi says, "A slave." But all of you hear different things.
So wait, what did she say to me in Draconic? Sorry.
Something horrible.
And I say, why are you scared?
Like, I'm confused. Like you said, like you're a slave. I'm like,
Exactly, yeah.
Teppan is slowly realizing like this is not I was like, it's almost like disappointed. He's like,
I'm just like, Darius, figure out who this person is.
Yeah, Darius puts on the hood.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
Make that charisma check.
Okay, who wants to?
Can I give him guidance for this if I know what's
Sure.
happening?
He
You are
announced it, so.
guided.
Okay, now, who wants to know something about the other world so I can get advantage?
I have an interesting thought. Darius, give us a reason why you would be seeing a shadow right now. Because I have an idea of what the reason would be, but I'm curious to see if you have a better one.
I think the shadow is either Darius, and he's trying to figure out who he is, and he's like feels like he's like a stranger, and he's like he doesn't know exactly who he was in this world, he doesn't know like. So it could. I was thinking it could be that, or I was thinking it could be, just like Darius's Darius's like confrontation and not his enmity but his like struggle with death.
Either of those are very viable answers. I will not neither confirm nor deny either of them, but take advantage.
Of course. I do get advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I'm using it and rolling with it, and let's see what happens.
And a D4.
So roll a d4.
This is up to a 27, possibly.
25.
25.
That's still good.
So Darius, you break through whatever this thing is. You just see it as he actually is, and it's Zaman.
Who?
It's-
Which one was Zaman again? I recognize the name.
Yeah,
but...
Zaman is one of the people in the Cult of the Dying Flame. It's the guy known as the Burning Oracle.
Oh, he was the guy who could like see everything.
Mhm.
It wasn't like the charge. Okay.
Oh,
He was like
that guy.
scrying, and yeah, he Raya
That
gave
was
him.
Oh.
that was good to us though, right?
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
The item he has is the scrying orb.
Yeah, Ari, yeah, you, Alyssa, you figured it out.
Ugh.
So Darius, you see that, and the shadow goes away, and then it just Zaman standing there, and he says, "Oh, thank goodness, I see it in your eyes. You know who I am."
And Darius
And all of the rest of you basically hear some variation of like they're pointing at Darius, but they're saying, you know, the cat is saying like, why would you travel with a person who oppresses others? And you know, the child says, it's a monster. And then Ari, you know, the person with Ari says, he's looking at me. Why do they always look at me?
And Darius, it's Zaman, right?
Xaman.
Yeah. Okay. So Darius says, "Zaman, what happened to you?"
Zaman, Ari says.
What?
Yeah, all of you are like,
I
what?
was like,
Teppen's like, who?
Yeah. And he says, I think it had something to do with that place. The place where dragons come from.
oh God.
He says, and you know, all of you are hearing different things, and it doesn't matter that much, but as your weird like psychological thing is happening, and but Zaman explains to you, the Chalmer, he destroyed the cult. I don't know who else survived, but I barely managed to get out alive. The only reason I did is because I had the eye which sees into the void. I was able to see it before it came, but not quick enough to save anyone else. I ran. I tried to escape, and I stumbled onto something, Darius. it felt like the eye was bringing me there. And I went somewhere else. Something
So
happened
the eye,
to me.
so the eye, it felt like the eye was bringing him someplace, but then then he went somewhere else. That the eye was not trying to take him.
No, that's not what he is implying. Maybe you even asked that clarifying question, and
Yeah.
he says, no, it was where he wanted me to go. I just mean, or not, it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just mean, I was here in this world, and then I was somewhere else.
Hmm.
And whatever happened to me on that side did this. I don't know how long I wandered. My mind broke for a while. But I'm here now, in this cage, and that snake took everything. You'll get me out, right, Darius?
Going to, well,
We can't let a yuan-ti have the eye.
yeah, I don't know how we're gonna.
Either let him have the eye or let him have you, the way I see it.
Makes sense how he knew what we wanted. That doesn't make sense how he knew how to scry on us, though. And we didn't make wisdom saves not to be scried on.
I don't think ring of mind shielding protects me from being scried on.
He didn't scry on you guys.
Oh,
Just saying that now.
how would he know what we want?
I don't know. Maybe he has an orb that lets him see into the future.
Once again, but I don't really care because Koza's not trying to kill us. He just is wanting knowledge. Thank you, blessed one.
But yeah, so he's saying this to Darius. He's like, you'll help me, won't you? And that one that comes out from everybody, right? Everybody hears that. You'll help me, won't you?
And
Weapons
Darius,
on the ground, kind of holding his head, doing like, trying not to listen because he's like,
Yeah, this isn't
guilt-ridden
real.
by the fact that he's not helping what he sees as a tabaxi.
And
but he knows
as you
it's
guys,
not.
as you guys hear this, right? It seems like it gets worse. Like Tepin, you can see like scars everywhere on this tabaxi. And then suddenly there's a chain collar and shackles where there weren't before. Raya, the child's dress gets dirtier and tattered. The transformation with Ari's continues further and further.
Would I know with the Arcana check, would dispel magic work, or would I have to wait until tomorrow when I could prepare like remove curse?
Dispel magic might work. You can make an Arcana check to know more about like what specifically is happening now that you like.
No.
If Darius like references to you.
Yeah. Then I would guide myself for this Arcana check.
Sure.
yeah, I was gonna say Darius explains
Nope.
what's happening to everyone.
Yeah, sure.
Clicked twice, but
Yeah, no, you have no idea. I mean, because this is something completely different.
So I just kind of say, I'm just gonna try something, and I cast Dispel Magic at 5th level.
Okay.
I feel like last time Dispel Magic got cast, it kind of
Your
really screwed
your
someone
spell casting ability is Wisdom, yeah.
Yeah.
Make an Insight check.
22.
Ooh.
Okay.
Very insightful, Raya Olafemi.
So Raya, this you start to cast the spell, and then you feel an itch wherever you keep the orb, like it starts itching, like it's like calling to you or something.
That's never really happened before.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
As she starts to cast the spell.
Well,
Yeah,
right
so
before she starts to cast a spell, basically.
Okay.
So I guess I
Yeah.
don't do that.
Do you take the orb?
Not in the village.
Can't
Right.
you just touch it? Or still
Yeah,
no,
but
guess
I don't want to get it out at all.
Right.
Yeah,
She'd pass out in the middle
It's
of
real
the road.
time now.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so
Oh,
Do you,
right.
I would just.
do you just touch the orb at all?
I would like to excuse myself.
Yeah.
And how far away was like the village from the water? There was like a dock and everything, right? Right off the village.
Yeah.
So I would like go back to the boats.
Okay. Yeah, so you touch the orb and you don't like get transported into the orb. What happens is you just feel like a tugging back towards where Zaman is.
Okay. So I guess I place it. I try and do it in a way where like I can touch the orb, but it's not like out for everybody to see.
Yeah,
Sit
so really
down or
what happens,
something?
right, if you go back, right, you just have your hand on the orb in like
Yeah.
whatever satchel you have it in, and then you know what you need to do is just channel the spell through the orb. That's really what's happening here is.
Okay. Is there a way to do that? Not obviously.
Not high.
Yeah, I mean you're obviously casting magic, but it's not like the orb's gonna like make you on fire.
Well,
or
all I
something.
have to do is just like touch the orb. I don't have to like have it out and be like,
Nope.
okay. So I cast Dispel Magic now. I go, sorry everyone, I just needed a minute.
Yeah,
And I-
and
We
so
interrupt the scheduled programming. For...
you see some sort of flicker of a vision, and you're not sure. I mean, for everybody else it's just a singular moment, but Raya, like, you see kind of like the reason for all of the different images that this guy, that why Zaman was looking like all of these things, and you won't remember any of them. But like in that single moment of clarity, you kind of understand that it had something to do with like some sort of like deep-seated fear or want or desire with each of you. And the reason like the orb was, you know, calling to this whole thing is you get another glimpse of the place, the void of space, the single slab of rock floating in the nothingness, and the pedestal upon which the eye which sees into the void should be placed. And then it's like your mind kind of backs up and you're looking at a row of, or not a row, but like a collection of different slabs of rock floating in this nothingness, each with their own pedestals. And you don't remember the specific number, but you're also like, oh, the orb goes on one of these, I think. And then
My orb versus
your orb,
I.
yeah. And then it's gone. Zaman is Zaman. And you get the nagging feeling in the back of your brain that something is very, very different about that place. More than any other thing you've seen before, right? Like, you've been to the Feywild. That, whatever that is different.
Just like that void place is
Yeah.
different than anything else I've ever seen, or different than when I saw it before.
Not different from when you saw it before, but you just
Okay.
understand its difference now. Yeah.
Weird.
Indeed.
So I remember that part.
Yep.
But I don't remember the moment.
You
of
remember
clarity.
knowing at one point the reason, but then, you know, the reason for why the image is, but then it's gone. It's like a bad dream that you can't remember. Or rather, a good dream that you can't remember and want to.
I just kind of just like,
Yeah, and then everybody sees Zaman, and he's just like in a loincloth, dirty, you know, bruised. And he looks and he's like, ah. All right. You all. Darius, could you take the hood off now? It's very unnerving.
Isn't he the one that said it wasn't scary before?
No, that was Kaawi, I think.
And Darius just says, in the voice that he has when he has the hood
Yeah.
on, I told him it was scary. And then
Right.
Ari just like quickly like reaches down in her pack real quick and then hands him like some bread or something like that.
So yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, he gratefully takes it and he's like, so what are we have to get the eye back, right? Well, how are we going to do it? And he like is whispering that, like, how are we going to do it?
I just kind of say we have already made a deal with the Great Coza for your freedom.
He kind of like eyes widen, like the Great Coza.
I would say I actually have not quite
Oh,
solidified that yet.
Well, just kidding.
Well,
We have already
Darius
been
pipes
speaking
in.
with the Great Coza.
Poor Zaman.
Darius pipes in. If we try to get the eye, then chances are we would have to leave you. It is likely that we can only get one or the other.
I mean, I can help you. I can help you get the eye. We can do it together. You guys killed Arendira, right?
No.
Did you say that in Primordial?
Yeah.
Why would we have killed Arendira? Mazayol did that. Now we're going after him.
Mazayol?
Do we
We
technically know Mazayol did that? Because we left before then.
Yeah, no, we
You
know.
heard about it later.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
No.
heard about it later, right?
I kind of give him a look like Mazayol did that, and now we're trying to destroy Mazayol.
Oh.
There's no way we would have killed Arendira. Which
I
is true, because
thought
there's
that
no
was
way
the
we
plan.
would have been able to kill Arendira.
Have this
And
dude
I-
make a freaking insight
I just
check.
kind of I'm like, Mazayol killed Arendira. There's no way that we would have done that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he slowly nods and like looks around at the yuan-ti like guards and stuff, and he's like,
And the plan is we're going after Mazayol.
right.
We were here returning a yuan-ti woman. Her village had been destroyed by undead, and her son had nowhere to go, so we brought her to the next village downriver. And
So
now
we're
we-
being
I
altruistic
just-
to yuan-ti now.
I just kind of continue on talking and being, and once we got here, we were able to meet the Great Coza, who is the leader of this village, and traded knowledge for hopefully very helpful items in our fight against Mazayol. And possibly you.
Possibly me?
Well, while you appeared to be a tabaxi to my tabaxi, tried to use
My
his
pet kitty cat.
he tried to use his request to possibly free the enslaved tabaxi here, but it's not set in stone yet. And the
Well,
Great Coza,
if he's your tabaxi, you can just tell him to free me, right?
well, at this point, we still don't know which is the more helpful thing, getting you or getting the eye.
Oh, he's not going to give you the eye. Do you not know what yuan-ti do with magic items?
They eat them.
Do I know?
Do you say that, Darius?
I think Darius probably pipes in, and as a guess, he probably says, they eat them.
So you have figured it out.
I had a hunch.
Do you realize how powerful the eye is?
What happens if he eats it?
He ascends.
Depends
Do
if
you
I
not know
eat
how
it.
yuan-ti work?
Darius just like trying to cram this thing down his throat.
Oh, again, he says,
"Ah."
no, hear me out. Not capital A ascend, like God
Just like
or
power
anything.
ascend.
Power ascend,
Darius just like makes a stew with the sandals and then eats.
but the 7 serpents
I
have a
just
wide
kind of-
diet.
I just kind of go, and is that such a problem right now? There's bigger problems. Because
Raya,
it doesn't seem
do
like
you remember what would happen to whoever held the eye? Do you remember the thing I told you? It was very vague. It was like something horrible is going to happen to whoever like holds this thing, and it's going to be like
I'm like,
there's going to be
does
some
the
horrible
world end
thing
or
that follows.
something?
Yeah, it wasn't that necessary. It was very vague again, but he was like, I've seen something horrible. You can't have the eye. Give it to me.
Yeah, and I go, honestly, does that
Been a while.
really impact us at that point if he takes care of it himself?
And he kind of like wrings his hands on the bone like bars of this cage, and he says, Raya, you need to let me out. You need to give me the eye. Tell him to free me.
Zaman,
Yes.
how would you be willing to help us?
Ooh.
He said
My-
she
He
said
said
Zaman.
not Teppan.
Sorry, I heard it wrong.
You're good. He kind of like twitches a little bit, and he says, I can take you. I can take you to the place. It started to seep. It started to seep into our reality. It's just down the river.
Where we're going anyway. Oh, geez.
You're going to need me, Raya. I've seen things.
I've seen things
Things
too.
that you don't remember.
Things that I can't forget.
Ooh, that was a good line.
But I would not bear repeat.
Then how would that help us?
Not yet, anyway. I need to show you. It doesn't make sense to me now, but it will. We just have to go back. I'm prepared this time. We can go back. It's the key.
27
It's the
insight.
answer. Yeah, 27 insight. Zamon's going a little crazy here. It's not necessarily that he's wrong or he's lying to you. He's obviously obsessive about this. Does that mean that he's wrong? You don't know. Obviously, whatever he saw there, whatever he experienced there, whatever curse was laid on him there, broke his mind a little bit. But he's convinced that it's important, and I mean, he's a seer. He's an oracle. He knows about these things. It's not necessarily going to be wise to ignore him completely, but
Right, but he told us it was downriver. He told us it was seeping.
yeah.
So my question is, what does he like expect us to do? Free him,
right
and then we
back.
just like kill the snake? Like,
Yeah, that's basically what he's telling you.
That's what I'm just kind of like, it might be in our better interest that we got this information from him. He let us know that this crazy stuff is happening. We know to look out for seeping darkness into reality where dragons are from, like all this weird thing
Yeah.
that he's warned us about. So we can request something else from the Great Coza, leave this village, leave him in the cage, and continue on our journey.
right, because it's like I'm not about to like Ari's just thinking I ain't
Like
about to let this guy
crazy.
out if he's like gonna attack this snake thing and
Oh.
we're
That's
gonna
what I'm
die.
saying. Is like I
Are
I
Ari
don't-
and
I
Raya
gotta-
agreeing on something for
Hold
once?
on,
think so, and maybe
Hold
I
on,
have to
give me a
change my
sec.
mind really quick.
Yeah, Darius.
Let me message you something right quick, Caleb.
Okay.
Did I miss anything
so,
important?
Yes, we're deciding.
Ari
if
and
it would
Raya
really be-
agreed on something.
We think we should just leave him on here that he's kind of crazy. He already warned us about it's downriver. It's this whatever alternate dimension reality seeping into ours.
Like a portal,
Bad
probably.
stuff going on. So if we leave him here because he's insane and is gonna get let out and then attack the Great Coza, which we don't need a fight on our hands. Plus, if Coza eats the eye, then the bad stuff is gonna happen to him. If he ascends into greater knowledge, whatever, we're cool with him. He's cool with us.
For now.
Yeah, but what, like?
I mean,
he's not violent. He's happy.
The problem is that we need allies. Like, we need this guy to basically spread the word in Arendira's domain that we are against Mazayol. He did this to Arendira.
Well,
we need that message spread.
Once my plan was once we request our things, and at the end I'd be like, if you know any ambitious people who would like to help us, let us know. Thank you, Great Coza. We have been blessed by your presence and gift. You are so great, Coza. With some thaumaturgy, like.
Okay, so I mean, here's the thing: Teppan has no clue who this guy is, so he doesn't care. Like, he'll pretty much say whatever you tell him to get, he'll get.
Yeah. So.
At this point, he's just thinking like, "Hey, do you have any magic items I could have? Like, because I like magic items. I like shiny toys."
Which at this point, now that we also have the knowledge of like they eat the magic items, he's probably not going to want to give them up super easily. But I mean, that's a great thing to ask for. So if we kind of just go, Teppan, would you be open to a different request?
Are you saying that to him like right now?
Yeah, I would probably say it in common.
Okay.
Because you would understand it.
Mm-hmm. And he won't.
Right.
Well, we don't know that for sure, actually.
Yeah. Whatever.
So if you say it that way, I'll just message you back in my head. This is not tabaxi. Just leave it at that.
Okay.
He's like, Zaman's like frantically looking between you all, like, is no one gonna help me? Are you literally gonna like leave me here?
Teppan has no idea who this is.
Does anybody have a spell that like breaks his mind even more, just like, or like make him forget entirely?
Like one of those like Men in Black pins, just like beep!
Yeah, exactly. Like that's because okay, so I was thinking about doing command word and then saying forget.
But it only lasts a round, so he would forget for a round and then remember again.
It's like forget. He's like there for like 6 seconds. What was I doing? Oh yeah, forget. Yep. What was I doing?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have anything besides, just like him just like being killed. Like that's the only means of forgetting that I have.
What if we have Teppan tell him that we're gonna come back for him?
Oh.
No, why would we do that?
Because then he won't go freaking out on us.
I mean, I'm curious, did yuan-ti even say anything to like, now that they know that this guy's a genasi, like, because they probably didn't know that he was a genasi.
I mean, yeah, the yuan-ti like around you guys are just kind of like confused, but like,
okay.
they're not really saying anything.
I just kind of say, we're going back to speak to the Great Coza.
And you're going to tell him to free me, right?
I'm already like starting to walk away.
Raya? Darius? Ari?
We're all just walking away.
And as
he still hasn't noticed Toy's not there.
And like going up there, I kind of like
he probably knows Tweety's dead, honestly.
Start approaching the worship leader and go, I regret that I ever doubted the Great Coza's wisdom. He would I do agree with him that he would probably hinder our travels. Is it okay for my tabaxi to make a different request?
Of course.
Ask for the eye.
He's not gonna give that.
I know.
You can try still.
Ask to find the diamond in the rough.
I mean, it's your request.
Sorry, I just realized I haven't been taking notes. At
It's
this
fine.
point,
I've taken detailed notes.
at this point, like he knows he might not work very well, but he's like, it's like, oh, Great Coza. I do understand. This may be a difficult request, but so how do I word this? Since like I like magic items.
I mean, you could literally just say like, my master knows that you have one of her old magic items. I would like it back for her.
And that is true. I did have ownership of it and I was connected to it.
Sure, I'll say that. I mean, at this point, he's like, sure, whatever. I don't care. He doesn't even know what he's saying. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't know what he's asking for.
Yeah.
Do we really want this though? I'm trying to decide. Did we decide that we need to get this back from him? Can we just let him ascend?
I don't know. I think Ari's like, yeah, probably not a great. I don't want to be scryed on by this guy. Like, I don't
But
think
if
this
he
guy
eats
should.
it, does he get the powers?
We don't know what'll
Maybe.
happen.
We don't know for sure.
I mean, yeah, think about it this way, right? Like the whole, for what you guys know about like why yuan-ti ascend, it has to do with life energy, and what are magic items made out of? Life energy. It's whether or not, I don't think they're like, I mean, your guess would be they're not actually like assimilating the powers of the magic item, but more like just feeding on its raw life energy.
I'm thinking he eats this. He gets powerful, ascends, has more knowledge. If he scries on us,
Well, even
so
then,
what?
it's
What's he
like
gonna do? He's just collecting knowledge.
just pulling back like player knowledge, right? This place, in order to get to it, we might need the orb to get there. Is my
we need
thought.
all 12 orbs.
The Dragon Balls.
I mean, I'm just saying it could be. It's more useful to us than I think keeping it here. And I know that Rye doesn't even have to attune to it necessarily. It doesn't have to. She doesn't have to keep it.
Okay.
Well,
Just saying, like, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Jordan?
I had a thought while you were saying all that, and I lost what it was. My concern with if he ascends and he takes it and he is able to like let's just say that he is able to scry, or let's say that he's like able to keep watch on us somehow or something. I'm worried about the Great Coza. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about the Great Coza falling into the wrong hands, if that makes sense. Like if
That's a good point.
because if Mazayol came through here, and instead of like just
Right.
wiping,
He could just offer
because-
him something better.
Well, he could offer him something better, but also remember when,
Mazayol's the great destroyer. He's not gonna be talking. I think he would
Okay,
just
but-
try and eat him.
hold on. Let me finish. Do
Okay.
you remember when the Cult of the Dying Flame was defeated and Itakali, like her brains got eaten, and then like like everything that she knew, the guy knew. Like he like ate her
Back
brain.
on the island, yeah.
Yeah.
The mind
So, like-
flayer snake thing, yeah.
It like ate her memories and gained all of her knowledge. So if that happens with him, then that could be problematic.
I think what's even more problematic is if this guy does eat it, or even if he doesn't, if Mazayol still shows up and finds that orb and he takes that,
That's
how much
a bigger
further?
deal.
How much further is he going to ascend?
Yeah. If he,
Or he
especially
just
like
just eating someone who ate the orb might be a lot too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I
Right.
just thought of that.
Yeah, the eye was used to
Okay.
the void is an artifact, so.
Okay, we want it. We want it back. I want my Tabaxi. Get my item back.
So I'll say essentially what Alyssa said. Like,
Huzzah.
my master has informed me that you have an item that was once hers, and she would like it back.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what he's asking for, so he has no qualms or anything.
His smile disappears for the first time.
Ooh.
He stares at Raya.
I mean, he can insight check. It was mine.
Yeah. No, he just stares
Oh,
at you. He stops
yeah.
swaying. He stares at you very intently. And he says to you, Raya, "So you did figure it out then? Clever. Of course, I had already foreseen this.
Mm.
I think that you should just take your gifts and go. I have already given you much. I do not wish to harm you. I do not wish to hinder you. I have no part to play. You do not own the eye anymore." And you could say something else and make an argument, make a persuasion check. But that's what he says immediately.
And Teppan's like, what did I just say?
Yeah.
Okay. Just thinking out loud right now. Because, like, I have no problem with him gaining more power. Do you guys think that he would
I mean, so if he's
like
not
our
willing,
argument of the fact of Mazayol?
I feel like the fact that he is frowning for the first time, I think is very insightful. I think we should just leave it at this point. And even though Zamon's crazy, like, we can just, like, he's probably at like 5 hit points right now because he's so malnourished and whatnot. We could just like knock him out and get him out of the village before he tries to do anything.
Okay, well, okay. If we were to, like, I mean, we might have lost our opportunity to take him now, by the sound of it. So, if that is the case, I almost wonder if it would be better if we could request to kill him. Because if we could kill him and demolish his brain and demolish him entirely, so in a way that will make it so they can't, like, I don't know, ascend from him or like gain his power.
Right. Or just at the very least gain his knowledge.
Yeah, because that could also be really bad. And especially like if he's gone mad from this knowledge, then who knows what this will do to them.
It might come to your mind, Darius, like his life energy was all weird and whack when you looked at him in that original thing. They probably wouldn't have wanted to eat him at that point, but maybe they would now.
Right.
Man, wouldn't that be horrible? It's like we're freeing you, Zaman, and then you just like go around the corner and then just murder him.
I don't think that he's not valuable to us dead.
That's what I'm saying. He's not valuable to us dead, but he's also not valuable to them dead. That's my point. I'm not saying that we should. I'm not saying we should. If we're able to free him, let's just keep him with us. If we're not able to free him, then I'd say we should try to find a way to kill him. Even if that means kill and go.
I mean, I don't think he's necessarily saying that like the offer is dead to take him. He said that he's useless to him.
At first he did, but then he's like, okay, you figured it out. I think I've given you enough gifts. It's time for you to go. Like, it's because he said, I've given you plenty. I think I've given you plenty. It's time for you to leave.
So yeah. Seth gets no toys.
You can ask again.
I know, but the way it's being said, there's a loophole somewhere. I want the loophole.
Oh, what? You think there's a loophole somewhere?
Caleb's the kind of person, there's never not going to be a way to get
very true
something if we have a good enough argument that can be made. We just have to figure out what that argument would be.
You could also just make a roll to determine that argument, right?
That makes me so nervous. Would it be insight again?
I think so, yeah.
I've made such good insight rolls, and it makes me so nervous to make another one.
Here's a question.
Yeah, Jordan.
Maybe an argument for it could be if we let him keep the orb and Mazayol finds out, then Mazayol will come for him and either take the orb or take him or take both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's just have Araya make that insight, and if she rolls high enough, then we'll figure out if he's am actually willing to part with it with the right argument or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Inspiration.
I know. I'm like,
Can you tell us about Raya's parents' lives? Like even like, I don't know, before they got married or something. Like tell us about.
Oh, I mean, her mom, you would say, is no one of note before she got married, since she's marrying someone high in society. It was an arranged marriage, so there's her life before marriage, it doesn't really matter now that she's able to be Raya's dad's wife.
Okay, so
and help out with everything.
That's an interesting question then. So like how does the arranged marriages work? Is it like in this context? Because if he's in such a higher class, I would think that he would be looking for somebody just like
Oh, she was in the higher up, but
okay.
But then once she gets married, it's like none of that matters.
Okay, so even like all of the life she had before, like all her high upness and all of that, none of that matters.
I mean, it was arranged. I mean, they got married it's an arranged marriage. They didn't get married very old.
Right. But
I mean, she was essentially like barely out of like childhood into being a actual like fully brain functioning tiefling.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I was just curious if it's like a street rat situation where it's like, oh, random street rat, but she's pretty enough, so I want her, or she's book smart, like something like that.
No, she's part of an affluent family.
Okay.
Is that good enough? Does that give me inspiration?
Sure.
Okay. Insight. Okay. 28!
Whoa.
What goes along?
Yeah, go Raya's mom.
Okay. Oh man. I'm trying to decide if I want to reveal all.
Oh crap. We're just screwed, aren't we? Get ready to roll initiative, guys. The next combat's going to take 8 hours.
Well, I didn't do anything. All I did was use my brain in
I know,
game.
but
So I have not done anything. But I'm like, the way Caleb said it, there's always a loophole.
There is all.
And I am not willing to let this die before trying to find it.
So Raya. You take a look around. You see his face, right? The snake's face. It seems familiar all of a sudden. And then you look around at all the cushions, and you realize they've been hiding something. They're covering something. A familiar-looking substance. And all of a sudden it hits you. You don't know how you know this, but all the pieces fall into place. And you know you are staring into the face of Tuhunapu. The thing under the cushion is the flesh in which you trapped him in the orb and then banished him. His face is the face that you recognize, but he never smiled like that when you saw him before.
And it was like when he frowned.
It's like when he frowned.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
And also, you realize why Zaman was going crazy.
Oh.
Because that's what Tuhunapu does. He makes everyone go mad. And now you realize just how horrible it would be if he kept the eye.
And how he's not actually a friend. Does that mean it's okay for Tippin to stab him?
And
Okay,
one of the big things,
send
right?
a message to Samuel and Sabu and say, get over here.
One of the big things, right, is that well, what am I about to say?
Oh my gosh.
Oh crap! I had a thing and then my brain just died, and I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say.
I thought it was shaman for sure. Shaman.
Charmer? Yeah, I was thinking Charmer as well.
No. Oh, yeah, I remember. What must have happened, just based on like your knowledge of what happened originally and this current situation you found yourself in, you must have banished him from the orb in that like flesh womb or whatever, right? That you ejected him in. He must have been born as some sort of weird like snake worm thing, and this is like some sort of weird reincarnation of him, right? Like, obviously, if it was just him, you would have recognized him right away, right? Because he'd be making deception checks or whatever. This is some sort of weird reborn version of him.
And so he doesn't recognize us?
Oh, he knows exactly who all of you guys are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Caleb,
He used the eye.
question.
Yeah.
When I use the hood on Zaman, when I use it on Zaman, was I able to like, detect his power level from
It's
off in the...
again, it has to do with literally line of sight. You never looked in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize it was line of sight. Okay.
It is.
That makes sense.
Jesus.
Is Lord forever and ever.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, what do you do, Raya?
Would like what's the best thing to do?
To
This
stab
is my chance. This is my chance.
Does that mean he can't leave this area if this flesh captured him?
No. He was like born out of the flesh, like some sort of weird womb. He like ate his way out of it, basically.
Ew, do I start this? Do I just kick this thing off? I don't want to use my 6th level spell real quick just to harm him. I think that Raya hates him.
Hold on. Do you have the spell in the orb right now that's like disintegrate or something?
I have disintegrate, but that's 10d6 plus 4 on a dex save. But
Right.
I have harm, which is a con save or 14d6 necrotic. So I could do either in one action. How big is he?
Only large. So like ogre sized.
Problem is that we not only have this guy, we also have all of his followers right now.
I know, but if we don't do this now, like,
Well, that's
he
why I'm
knows.
like, well, he doesn't know that you know, but
He will in a little bit if Raya reveals anything about.
That's why. That's
she
what I'm
reacts
like.
in a certain way.
well, that's why I'm like, get Samuel and Sabu over here.
I'm just
Somebody
trying to
message
decide-
them.
But I'm just like, is it better for us to leave and then immediately come back with them to fight, or just stay here, get it
And just
started,
fight.
and fight right now while we're right in front of him before people can get in between us?
What if we take a quick break to decide maybe or something?
I think that's a great idea.
Well, part of the thing, right, is that it's 10:36.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I don't think we
wanna-
can start this fight.
No.
Yeah, that's the other
So maybe do we just leave off here and it's just like you can decide what you do next time? Then you have all that time to think about it.
But the thing is I'm not going to. I'm not like you other people who
That's
think
fair.
about this
That's
stuff.
fair.
Well, then we could think about it, and then we could.
Yeah, we could talk about it afterwards, after we
then-
end the stream, and then go.
I mean, we can
from
literally
there.
just talk about it now because we have time. Like we can
Okay.
keep
Because that's
talking
I'm,
about it.
I'm like, if we leave it like this, I'm not going to be thinking about it this whole
I'm
time.
gonna
It's
put the rest of
actually-
this
I
away
think
real
either
quick.
way, you should decide what you want to do, and if it's
Yeah.
fight, then we end. If it's not, then we can like play out the epilogue of whatever. Like,
I think
yeah, Jordan.
What if we grab the orb and run?
What if we banish him, grab the orb, and then run?
Well,
So-
that might be counter. I wonder if that's counterintuitive.
Well, because he'll be gone for at least a minute, so we can like, because we can't grab it. He's sitting on top of it.
I have an ability to smack people away, though.
True.
I could try
Okay.
that.
So
Do you have to touch someone to banish them?
no,
Okay, so
60
if
feet.
nothing else, then if I can't blow him away from it and then grab it and we run, then you could banish him.
But here's the other thing: is we could just grab it and run, but also, I think I don't think Raya is okay with him like living and being in existence.
No, of course, and I don't think.
And
Yeah,
he is in a form in which now theoretically we could kill him,
What if we
and that wasn't available before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
God.
think. I think Raya would think to immediately try
kill him.
and fight him because he's finally in her dimension.
well, and finally potentially in a beatable form, but we don't know if he's actually beatable or not. We don't know how strong
No.
he is. That's my
But the
big.
other thing is because he is Tuhunapu and not just a yuan-ti, he's not going to eat the eye. I wouldn't think, because
But
the
he's
eye is an artifact that he wants to have, and as we discussed, eating it does not give you the powers of it. It just gives you the life energy.
That was your guess anyway.
But the thing is,
There was no
an artifact
confirmation.
probably has a ton of freaking life energy.
I'm just
Yes,
curious because
But he knows the importance of the artifacts.
That's true.
I mean, it's partially made by him.
So I don't think
I feel like just listening to this, Raya would try to kill him. Like,
that's the
and
thing.
we all just have to follow suit with
Because
whatever
you
it
don't
is
know it's
Raya
him
would do.
yet.
Yeah.
My only thought is that we should get the orb away from him before he has a chance to use it in a way that like
I
gives
mean,
him
but
more
it-
power. or
It's a
something.
scrying orb. It's just it's really overpowered and is an artifact.
It's not an artifact that you use to like
But it's
hurt people
not
necessarily. It's just-
yeah.
No, but I know that he's not a yuan-ti, but he's been reborn into this weird thing, and we don't know that he doesn't have that yuan-ti power. That if he wanted to, he could just like take it as a. Which I know that.
Oh, I think he could. I just
Well-
don't think he would.
So
Right.
I think what would happen, right? Raya would start this combat, and then our first thought is, Darius, you could knock him away, grab it in the combat, but either way, I think a combat is going to ensue. no
Yeah,
matter
because
what.
I think I would just immediately.
I could grab it too. I mean,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
So I think what we
I don't
see,
know what
right?
it is though.
I think what we see this crystalline moment where Raya figures all of this out, and we see flashbacks and all this stuff, so we know, as the audience, know what she figured out. And then, the guy, the Tuhunapu is, the Great Coza, is frowning at you, right? And then he smiles again, but it's not the same smile. It's like the creepy skull smile, right? And then we see Raya's
start
eyes
casting
widen,
a spell.
and you just like cast the spell.
Okay. Does Darius, not Orbius, but actual Darius met him? Like was he
Actual
in-
Darius? No.
Okay, it was
Just
okay, so
Orbius.
it was just Orbius.
Just
back
Orbius.
back when he
When you got originally split, yeah.
it was but it was after we originally split. That's when he
Yep.
appeared.
is like anything happening? I'm just curious with my magic item now that Tuhunapu's here, because he's the one who created my magic item.
I mean, you haven't checked either of them, so.
Yeah, so you would just see and hear me starting to cast a spell.
Yeah, and I
Because
think that's where we
I'm
just
assuming
end,
I would get a
right?
surprise round since.
Yeah, because I
I'm
want
going out
to
of
set up
nowhere.
this whole big encounter that
Yeah.
but that's where we end for today.
Man, I just wanted to really like this NPC, and you ruined it, Caleb. You ruined it.
rolled a crit on an insight check. I literally was
I
like, well,
did.
there's no, like, this is gonna be a secret thing, and whatever. You rolled a crit insight, so what am I supposed to do? That's the way the game works.
I had to ruin it for myself.
Yep,
I'm
that's
too-
my job, suffering.
too smart and perfect. Such a burden.
But yeah, so that's Terra Nullius.
It's okay. Darius is fine with killing a snake.
So is Tepin. The question is, can we get... Well, all these snakes that are nearby probably aren't very powerful. I don't know if they're very strong necessarily.
I specifically said they weren't.
Okay.
Remember, I was like purebloods and malicens, which are
Not
those
any,
are the
priests
two
and shamans and
exactly.
stuff.
Those are the two weakest types.
Okay. So it'll be
Except for
a bunch
guards,
of grunts and a big guy.
A bunch
Yep.
of grunts, maybe a couple of guards, and the big guy.
And some actual just straight up snake.
Right.
That
There's
are
like
crawling
lots of
around
there's
at
like
our feet if
there's
they
like
can-
swarms of snakes.
Yeah, if
at
they
her
can
feet.
control them at all.
This is why Alyssa has Flame Wall.
Okay, I think that's the decision.
Cool. Well, next time we play
listen,
Terra
in
Nullius.
a weird way.
Next time on
It
Terra
really did.
Nullius.
Well, next episode will be a long 5-hour long combat.
It'll be a big whole deal. Cause right, like the thing is, like I'll have the whole map of like the town or the village or whatever, and it's possible Zaman might try to escape during the middle of it, right? And we'll have Clements and all them running over. It'll be this whole big thing.
And
Now
what's
I'm-
really frustrating is I'm gonna level up in between these sessions, and I'm not gonna be able to level up for the combat.
Now I'm really freaked out that he kissed my ring.
Oh yeah,
And
I know.
You
know what? Wait.
communicated-
That's the last scene we get. We get a flashback and we see that scene. Obviously, none of you guys know it as characters, but we're gonna know it as the audience. That's what I was planning. So we see the moment where he kissed the ring, and then we see
Atabai?
Atabai and Tuhunapu just as themselves, right? Appear in this like weird like shadow, like they're just talking his mind sort of a thing, right? But Tuhunapu says, that's what I thought. It was you. I would like to formally apologize that my children killed you. And then Atabai like shrugs. He's like, technically, the actual child that killed me wasn't yours. Your children just helped in the process. So I don't hold as much of a grudge as I could. And Tuhunapu, kind of nods and says, well, see, I'm glad you said that because I have a proposition for you.
Frick.
Why don't we indeed let bygones be bygones and help each other with a mutual arrangement? Being in the mind of a yuan-ti, even one not originally as purposed by the way this particular cycle works, it has given me some interesting mental readjustments. You see, the yuan-ti think in terms of ambition, of climbing up a social ladder that ascends them further and further to a position of superiority over the rest of their fellows. Now, because of my interesting and strange birth in this form, I think about that a little differently than I think the others do. You see, I don't really want power, at least not over this cycle. My views are a little bigger. Did you know about the cycles, Atabai? Atabai kind of like narrows his eyes. What do you mean by the cycles? Oh, the endless repetition of alternate realities that exists parallel to this one? I think they're called cycles. I think there are 374 of them. But I don't want to rule just this one. I want to rule all of them. And I can't do that with just politics. No, the only way I can do that is with information, with knowledge. Will you give me what you know? And in return, I can bring you back to life. And Atabai, frowns deeply and says, you know that's forbidden. And he shrugs and says, it happened before. It didn't go very well, but it happened before, once. You know the results, at least now you do. And it's obvious some sort of information has passed between them. And Atabai kind of nods and says, but it didn't work last time. What makes you think it will work this time? And he smiles his skull smile. And he says, well, I found where they go. What do you mean, where they go? I found where they go when they die. And Atavai's eyes widen. And he just says, what do you need me to do? And Tuhunapu's grin widens. And just says, just play along, my dear man. Just play along.
Well, guys, another one of my characters are gonna die. It's been fun.
And that's the cut of the scene, cut of the episode. I did not realize there was going to be so much of a lore dump this episode, but there was. So here we go. Here we are.
All this lore is just all over the floor.
Okay.
Now we have to go clean it up and figure out what to do with it.
That's the most I've written, I think, since being out of school.
I have nearly 2 pages of notes.
Okay, so I have this,
Oh my gosh.
and then this. That's oh my gosh.
All I wanted was a diamond, dang it.
And if
All
you
I
had
wanted
just
was a nice old snake.
if you had just left, everything would have been fine. He would have given. He wanted to give you those things. He wanted to give you those things.
Snake.
You don't have to attack him. He wants to help you. He is a nice old snake.
So does this cycle technically end when I die? I feel like that's what happens because I'm the guardian number 374.
Interesting. Interesting connection you found.
That was just a random number you threw out that was large to be able to have him rule, I'm sure.
Yeah, entirely.
I thought he said 364, so I'm really glad that you caught that.
Oh,
Yeah,
My
I,
hand
I caught it that it was
hurting.
the number of the Guardians, and I don't.
I'm 364, that's 1 day short of a year. That's really dumb.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna get to a year. I'm wait, what?
Okay.
No, I
I'm
got it.
that's so confusing. Are they gonna make another day? What does that mean? I was so confused.
just give me my useless XP.
Okay, yeah. Let's do goals.
I did
Okie
one thing
dokie.
today.
Tepin.
I didn't get revenge on the 7 serpents. I'm about to stab a lot of snakes.
I feel like didn't you make a roll at some point here that could have been working towards that? I'm trying to think.
We were trying to I guess we were trying to gathering friends, gathering allies to try and take down.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole
count.
this whole thing has been about. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let me pull up my XP calculator thing here.
And I also
what level are you, Tepima?
I'm level 13, and I also say it's safe to say that's why I explained. I think protecting Raya is, given everything I did to try and make sure that it
certainly
went well with him.
Yeah, you did that.
Even though in the end it didn't matter. So I did that too. I did not find any shiny new
You're
toys.
working on finding a shiny new toy.
I am working on it.
Yeah, you've worked on all of your goals today.
You figured out a new plaything. A snaky one.
So you get 4,400 XP, Tepin. Ryle, Lefemi?
I worked on killing Mazayol.
Yep.
And I worked on Cebu. I didn't get to do anything
With Faustino's mission, yeah.
with Faustino's mission, even though I was saying that I was going to trickily try to by bringing the boys, but then we didn't.
Yeah.
So I worked on 2.
What level are
goals.
you?
I'm level 12, and I'm about to be level 13, and it's going to be very upsetting.
All right, you get 3,000 XP.
Excellent. Thank you, benevolent DM.
No problem. All right, Armani.
I only worked on one thing today, and that was to try to help save Buck. I
And
worked on it because
Particle.
I
Looks like
technically
you're working on it, yeah.
I technically didn't even complete it, which is the upsetting part. I have the diamond.
Yeah.
I didn't work on coming to decision with Steamlight. I didn't even talk to him today. And I didn't work on attuning to my magic item at all.
Yep. I'm sure that Tuhanapu would help you out with that. Just saying.
I'm sure he would, but you know,
just in the
I'm
middle of a
trying to
fight,
get-
just be like, hey, before we kill you, could you help me with this
hey,
thing real
how
quick?
do I get your life energy out of here?
Yeah. I'm sure that he could help you with that, honestly.
I'm sure he could, but you know what? I'm not really in the place for a conversation now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm at level 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
It's like asking a dentist for candy, going to Mazayol, or going to Mazayol? No, not Mazayol. Going to
Tuhunapu.
Hunapu to figure stuff out with
Yeah.
the magic.
2,500 XP for you, Ari. And Darius.
I did nothing with Clement.
You're working on a toning.
Working on a toning.
You got that
and,
powder.
Yeah. Put an end to the death apocalypse. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what I did like with the hood and that guy with Zaman.
You know what? I think it does.
Yeah.
Mainly for lore reasons that you don't understand yet, but yeah.
Oh, great!
I'll take it.
What level are you?
I am level 12.
Got it. All right, you get 3,000 then.
Yay, I'm easily thief. Wait, did I do any, like, did any of us get the party goal?
Yeah, everybody got the party goal.
Yeah, that includes the party goal.
Yeah.
So 3,000 XP for you.
I have my
I'm
XP.
not gonna level for a long time.
But then when you do, you'll jump like to all the levels, and you can be a level 20, whatever you want, and then get some levels and other things.
But I won't be able to, like, I don't know, like, I don't think I have anything that's gonna give me that much XP. Like, what's, like, maybe putting an end to the death apocalypse. But at that point,
Once
we're
the
already...
new
tone
falls
is
in
gonna
love
be a
with
long
me,
goal. Yeah.
Huh?
I'm so excited. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. I only have 12. I thought it was more. But hopefully by then I'll be like leveled up, so then it counts for more.
Caleb, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are other characters, you know, the
alt versions?
no, the
Oh,
The-
Akashi and them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Are they gonna like level up with our characters? Like, would they be the same?
Yeah.
levels? Okay.
We'll just level them up. Once we see them again, we'll level them up to be equal about with you guys. So
Okay, because I'm really looking forward to all of us finally hitting level 13 for Akashi's sake.
I put my XP in, but I didn't level myself up, so during this fight I don't get the extra bonus stuff.
right.
I just
in
realized
case.
I never picked out a spell for when I leveled up, so I get to pick out a spell now, which is good because I'm gonna need it.
Yeah.
I'm really happy I left the spell harm prepared. And
Yeah.
the fact that I was like, let me just dispel magic at 5th level instead of 6, because I have two
Okay.
5th levels.
I'm officially triggered. I only need 3,000 more stinking XP to level,
How many?
which I guess it doesn't matter because 3,000, which it
Okay.
doesn't matter since
Right, you can't level up
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah,
Okay.
wow. So there's a lot going on here. A lot of things that I did not realize were actually going to like come up this session. but
Start
they
right
did.
now.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
So-
I honestly have a feeling that Teppan's gonna die because he said play along, and he's the source of my power. Yay!
Were you gonna say something, Jordan?
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say. Dang it! What was I gonna? Oh, okay. If I have like a consecutive, Okay, so if like let's say next session I want to say my goal or one of my goals is to kill what's his face.
Hunapu.
Tuhunapu. If I want to kill,
Yeah.
because there's help me out. There's so many names here. Let's say I want to make one of my goals kill Tuhunapu, and let's say the goal that I take off for this session is figure out what's different with Clement. Would that mean any progress I've had is going to like?
It's not gonna reset.
It's
Yeah.
not gonna reset. So like if
No.
I pick that up next session, they'll pick up.
It's fine. Yeah, just keep
Okay.
the tallies.
If you could see my bio thing, I just have a list of all of the goals that I've had with tallies underneath.
Like teach Darius
So
how to
that-
read, for
Yeah,
example.
so then if I ever go back to it, I can just start adding more tally marks again.
Yeah.
Well, it's really helpful that we're doing this at the beginning of each session, because what I'm going to do is like go. I'm gonna go to the beginning and end of each because I haven't been keeping tallies. So I'm gonna go to the beginning and end of each session and then figure out where I'm at with all of them.
Yeah, cool stuff. Wow.
We're gonna find.
Wow. And we just thought this was going to be like, hey, village, like you should like us and tell everybody to stop to help us kill Mazayol. But no, instead we have to run into two Hunapu and Zaman. Some pretty major NPC characters.
The thing is, like, what I'm starting to like try to do with all of this stuff, right, is like there's a lot of NPCs that have all done important things, and I want to start circling back around to them instead of continuing to add more NPCs that
Yeah.
like will do things. What we really need, what I'm trying to do is just streamline everything and be like, yes, turns out everyone you've met so far is all part of the same interconnected series of events, which is how a good story is supposed to work anyway. So,
Yeah.
He's never going to make it to Lord Navarro at this point.
there's a lot
It
going
turns
on.
out, it turns
Season
out Lord
6 by
Navarro knows everything, and he's working on becoming the next seventh serpent.
I mean, he is part of the verdict, so he knows more than he's letting on for sure. But well, cool. There you go. That's episode 52 of Terra Nullius. Things are ramping up. There's lots of oh man, guys, I have so much prep that we haven't even hit yet. That's going to be really important and really cool, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the season. There's a lot of cool stuff that's going to happen this season that I've been sitting on for a while. So, you guys hit some of it today, so that was cool. Okay, that's it. We're out.